Does Bitcoin go back up, and does it take regulation of all kinds to get us there, to rule out some of the obvious criticisms that have been pushed over the last 2 months?
Yeah, I think it's clear the people are confused, and regulation will be constructive because clarity will help the market mature.
To add to what the CEO of Micro Strategies mentioned, that regulation will be conservative and it will bring clarity, and which will help the market mature. I also believe that because of regulation, that people will feel a lot more secure, a lot more safe in putting their money in the crypto currencies and in the crypto market, because you would all know that cryptocurrency, there are a lot of crimes, and not to say that there aren't any scammers out there in the stock market, but I think there are people are held more accountable in the stock market, whereas cryptocurrency is a little more, quote, new, and a lot more people don't know much about it. So therefore, there aren't that many laws that regulate this thing. So therefore, cryptocurrency it needs to be regulated so investors can feel safe, can feel that if their money is, if the company goes down, then they are safe, that they can get some of their money back. Whereas you think the company is solid and they have good intentions, however, you really don't know what's going on in the background. And I think that's why at times as well, FDIC insured companies, in my opinion, are a little bit safer than those who are not FDIC insured, right? So it's really, we're all really waiting on regulation in order to move forward in what we're supposed to.
The people are confused about what's a currency, what's a commodity, what's a security, what are tokens. There's 19,000 cryptos out there. I think we can see in the crypto crash that the average investor has been taken advantage of by traders and by wildcat crypto banks. And as the regulators come in and they clear up this confusion and they introduce rules of the road, it's going to be good for mainstream investors. It's going to be good for corporations. It will catapult the industry from the entrepreneurial offshore anything goes stage into a institutional mature asset class.
You said something really important there, I think, which is a lot of people got taken advantage of through this period. Is the argument then to be made that until this regulation, this should be for sophisticated, and I hate the word, but I'll use it, sophisticated investors only? Actually, retail participation here is too high risk.
Well, I think the challenge is if you wait for a decade for everything to be cleared up, the price of Bitcoin is going to be 10 or 100x more than it is right now. So you have to choose whether or not you want to enter knowing that there are about a dozen things that are going to mature the asset class and make it more transparent, or whether you want to wait for all those things to take place and then pay a much higher price when it does. And everyone has to decide where they're going to land there. But Julia, let me make one big point. The flight to safety is a grand illusion. You don't have the choice to do nothing and comfortably move forward. For example, the true inflation rate in all of our currencies runs 7% in the best years, 14% in bad years, and 20% or more in a crisis. The yen has weakened against the dollar 19%, the Great British Pound 12%, and the euro 10% just year to date. So if you put all your money in a currency bank account and then you had to go buy oil, which is up 33%, or wheat, which is up 32%, what you found is the safe, risk-free strategy is resulting in you paying 50% more in local currency for the things you have to eat and you have to use in order to keep from freezing to death. So there's no safe haven.
But I would argue, Michael, in this situation, Bitcoin certainly wasn't a safe haven this year either. You could make a bigger point about investing over a period of years, but on that comparative basis, Bitcoin's had a shocker too.
Yeah, if you're looking for something in the next 3 months, clearly you have to sit in currency, but you're losing 20, 30, 40% of your value sitting in the currency. Bitcoin's gone through 3 boom and bust cycles in the last 2 years. But if you zoom out, look at the 5-year picture. Bitcoin's up 50% a year in the last 5 years, 50% a year for the past 2 years, 120% a year in the past 10 years. That's 10x better than NASDAQ. That's 5 to 10x better than pretty much any other option. So if you're wanting peace and calm in the near term, there is no safe haven. The long bond is down 23% year over year. So what you have to do is decide, are you going to stay on a sinking ship, or are you going to get on a lifeboat and be tossed about on the stormy seas? And Bitcoin represents that lifeboat, and it's hope for everybody in the world if you can take the long view and focus on the fundamentals.
I absolutely agree with what the Michael is saying, because you can play. Yes, there are risks out there, but playing it safe and putting your money in these safe alternatives, you're actually losing. And when she mentioned that should Bitcoin only be for sophisticated investors, and honestly, you just have to be careful. Let's go back to having the long view of Bitcoin and actually the long view of the stock market, period. So if you're looking at it from, as you said, I think it was like 3 months, then no, you're going to lose. But he went back and explained to her, let's look at Bitcoin the last 5 years, the last year, the last 2 years, and the last 10 years. And Bitcoin has been up if you're looking at that time frame. And I think every investor needs to look at their investment not like, I'm going to make money within the next 6 months, or I'm going to make money within the next 3 months, because you are not preparing for hard times to come, or if they come, or really when they come, because the truth is they will come. But if you just put your money in and then take it out 3 months later, then you're not in it for the long haul. And in the short term, you're going to lose. If you look at the stock market, you may lose in 6 months, but let's look at it a year. Let's look at it over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So as investors, you need to have the long-term approach rather than the short-term approach. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate you guys. So take care.